Hi, I'm sitting here at Beacon Soundworks with musician and composer Joseph Bertolozzi, and we're here to talk about his new project. Um, he's had a few releases recently, and he's got something big coming up this second Saturday. But we're going to start with asking a few questions. You were born in Poughkeepsie?
Born and raised in Poughkeepsie, right?
Right. When did you move to Beacon?
I moved to Beacon in 1982. I was a professional musician at the time, and I was driving around to all my gigs. My wife had a job in Beacon, so she walked to work and I used the car.
Very nice. Beacon is convenient for being able to do that.
Yeah.
What was the music scene like locally when you first came to Beacon?
I'm not sure that I'm a good resource for that. Most of my work that's not in the studio is in church work. I played for St. John's Church in Beacon. I'm an organist by training, choir director, and that's what I do. I don't recall, certainly there weren't the same number of clubs as there are now. But you still had, at the time, Tony DiPaolo was still tearing things up on his guitar. So he comes to mind. But there certainly weren't the avenues to play out like there are now.
There's a lot more fresh faces in Beacon now than back then.
Yeah, and you got Dogwood and Quinn's and Town Crier, and here, you have concerts here, So yeah, there's really a lot of opportunity for musicians to play.
Yeah, well, I was in high school when you first moved over here, and a lot of my friends were musicians. A lot of people in Beacon just gravitated to playing music.
Mm-hmm.
All of them are still playing today, which is great to see and hear, and it's just been a good growth, I think, for music. A slow growth throughout the years, but I think it's always been here. So let's also talk about some of your releases. I think it was 2009 you released Bridge Music.
Right.
Most people are familiar with it, but just if you could, a brief history of what led you to actually decide, I want to make music with a huge structure like that.
Right. Well, what bridge music is I went out and I sampled all the different surfaces of the bridge, and then I assembled those into like a virtual instrument and wrote music with those sounds. Just the raw sounds. There's no effects. I didn't boost even treble or bass. It was just the sounds of the bridge. That album did come out in 2009. It went to number 18 on the Billboard crossover chart. Proud to say that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it exists as a sound art installation that's open to the public. You can either walk out onto the Mid-Hudson Bridge. Now, this is the Mid-Hudson Bridge, not the walkway, and it's not a small detail. You walk out to the Mid-Hudson Bridge, and at each of the towers, there's like a big jukebox there. And there's buttons, and there's a sign, and you press the button, and you can hear the music. Now, for people who don't do heights, or they don't do bridges, or maybe you go there and it's bad weather when you arrive. There is a 24/7 broadcast, and there are signs in the park that say 95.3 FM for bridge music, and you can hear it any time, all year long. You can hear that. Now, the idea that I got to do that was actually my wife. Now, I said earlier that I'm trained as an organist, but I also have lately become trained as a percussionist. I have a percussion setup of all metals. It's all gongs and cymbals.
Bronze.
The bronze collection.
That's right.
And I used to give concerts with that. And my wife was mimicking the way, when I'm playing, I'm like this. And she took a swing at this poster of the Eiffel Tower that she was standing next to, and she went, bong. And I was like, everything vibrates. You could do that. But I never thought I'd ever get permission, of course, right, to play the Eiffel Tower, because I didn't speak French. So I wanted to do the concept. I thought the concept was cool. Yeah. So I said, well, is there another place I could do it? And at the time, the Henry Hudson Quadricentennial was 5 years in the future. So I decided on a bridge over the Hudson, and for a variety of reasons, the Hudson Bridge was the best selection, I thought. After I did that, that was 5 years. That started in 2004. We finished in 2009. A year went by, and then I said to myself, this was supposed to be the Eiffel Tower. So I got up off the couch again, and I looked up who owns the Eiffel Tower, and I learned that the mayor of Paris is nominally the head of everything that happens within the city. That made sense. So I wrote to his office 6 times, sent 6 packages with bridge music CD and all the documentation that showed it was, a commercial hit as well as an artistic hit. And long story short, they invited me to come over and present the idea, which I did for Tower Music, and they gave me permission to do it. So that was in 2013. This is going by really quick, but it was like, man, it took me 9 months to write bridge music. It took me 9 months to write Tower Music, but I started in 2004 and I ended in 2016. So, 18 months out of 12 years to complete this project. And all the other time was raising money, on the phone, chasing down a lot of dead ends, gathering my team together. But they allowed me to go out and do it. I sampled it. The album came out this April 29th. And that album, of course, iTunes wasn't so much a presence the way it is now for charting and things like that back in the 2008, 2009. But on the classical charts, it went to number 11 on the iTunes chart and number 16 on the Billboard chart.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yes, I think it's so, always amazed me that you were able to see that in the bridge, in the tower, and to be able to compose, a full album out of that. That's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
So, you released Tower Music. You've done a few shows since then, and they're very interactive with the audience.
Yeah. I have a video screen, and I'll show images, and I'll show videos of us working there. I'll talk about what we did. At the end of the night, I'll pass out symbols to everybody, and we'll play a track, and I conduct, and we all all the muggles try to hit at the same time, and it's fun.
That's really cool. I admire it very much. So that brings us to what's happening here in Beacon, which is called Paris on the Hudson.
Paris on Hudson, yep. It's going to be essentially an album release party, but it's going to be a street fair. So down at the bottom of Main Street, at the intersection of Main and South Avenue, we're closing off South Avenue up 2 blocks. And Bank Square is the business on that side of the street, and they are like hosting it. But it's going to be across that and where the visitor center is, that like little park.
Yes.
It's called Polville Park. So over the course, it's Saturday, the 10th of September, second Saturday, and it's from 6 to 10 p.m. And there will be beer and wine available on the patio. There'll be French food and drink up on the first block, and it's an open air Parisian cafe. We commissioned a 21-foot tall metal Eiffel Tower sculpture that's wrapped in Christmas lights, and we're mounting that against the side of Bank Square, so you can come get a picture taken with the Eiffel Tower.
Awesome.
We're going to have a strolling accordionist, a mime, a juggler, a French gendarme, and on the side porch of the visitor center, that's going to be our main stage.
Okay.
And when there aren't acts on the stage, Tower Music will be playing over the sound system, but we will have the Judith Tulloch Band. I'm going to say they're playing from 6:30 to 7:30, and then again from 8 to 9. And I'm going to do a short multimedia presentation in that middle half hour, and then again at the end of the night from 9 to 10.
Great.
And there's going to be a video pretty much the size of the visitor center on the side there that'll be looping video from our recording sessions on the tower.
Nice.
So it's an immersive affair with the characters, and there's music and there's food if you want it. You know, I'll be there to talk to people. Tower music will be available for sale, of course. And it was a nice combination working with the city, because we couldn't close off the city streets without their approval. We worked with them. I worked with the Ritigliano group, and he's the presenter and producer of this. And you know, we're gonna have French flags and decorations and stuff. It's gonna be fun.
It's great, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for it. So there you have it. Joseph Bertolozzi, Beacon Night.
Yeah.
Well-renowned musician, composer, second Saturday, September 10th, 6 to 10, Paris on Hudson. It's gonna be an awesome show. Everybody come on out and support.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
The following Friday, September 16th, is the beginning of the Beacon Independent Film Festival. And the opening film on the film festival is a documentary called Bridge Music.
There it is.
So that'll be fun to go do too.
Nice new plug, all right, awesome. Well, thank you for that, appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for your time, Joseph. Take care.